Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on our continuation of SAP UI5 training. This is completely different course on the overwhelming demand from all of you regarding SAP Web IDE, which is getting in more and more trend these days. Most of the companies are moving towards development of SAP Fiori and they all are recommending to use SAP Web IDE. This brought me to a completely new course now related to SAP Web IDE with all as XML views. And the prerequisite for this course should be the first course. Let me quickly introduce you with the first course which we have gone through together. So I'll go through the website once again, onlinefiorytrainings.com, and here we saw our first course which we have completed earlier, which includes basics of SAP UI5 and Fiori. Hope all of you remember all these basic concepts. We have covered this course in 4 phases. First one was the fundamentals for UI5, which includes HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. Then we moved on to UI5 development and then the Fiori development. At the end, we saw how to use SAP NetWeaver Gateway to create OData services. That is what was our first course. And some of the important topics which makes sense for this course as well are component.js concept, router, route match handler. The most important missing part which we did not include in the first course was using XML views. Some of you have complained me, Anubhav, you've not used XML views. So I will resolve all your complaints in the current course. So we reach to the next level now. It is SAP Fiori Enhancement, Launchpad and Web IDE. In this course, we will talk in detail about complete end-to-end development of a custom app, also enhancement of standard Fiori apps in the SAP Web IDE. I will show you SAP Web IDE consumption, how to set up SAP Web IDE in the local environment, and use that for your end-to-end development. We will also discuss about out-of-the-box SAP Fiori apps, which SAP offers you, and you can utilize them in your company, how to set up the overall Fiori server, how to install the required components, and also we will discuss how to deploy your application in SAP system. After deployment, we'll see how do you configure access to the user. So typically in a company, whenever you have a Fiori app, whether it be the custom Fiori app or a standard Fiori app, the users would access your application from a single point which is called as Launchpad. In this course, we will discuss in detail how to get started with SAP Fiori Launchpad, use SAP Fiori Launchpad for adding all your application access as a tile. There are different types of tiles like dynamic tile and static tile. And then we will also discuss about custom branding. So how can you adopt the SAP Fiori standard Launchpad as per the company requirement where they want their own company logo and the different theming structure as per the need. That's not all. We will also discuss the backend role concept and many more new stuff like KPI tile creation using SAP Gateway system. So all of that will be part of this course, a completely new level which is more like near to real-time thing. I would expect all of you to know and remember the content or the topics which we have covered in the previous course. That is the prerequisite for all of you to know the current course. Very important. If you know the prerequisite, if you know the previous course, then only you will be able to understand things over here. But of course, if you are, just finished the learning of the first course and you're a little comfortable also, that is also okay because you understand what are all the different artifacts which we have inside a Fiori project. So you can actually go here and check the course content. It's Fiori development like never before. Some of the highlights are using XML views, using SAP Web IDE, Launchpad, and how to customize standard Fiori apps. We'll talk about enhancements and changing standard Fiori apps by creating extension projects in SAP Web IDE. I will also show you how can you make use of Git repository, which most of the companies these days are using for all the central as a central server, Git as a central server for the entire development team. So we will see Git basics also during this course, how to connect to a Git repository, how to give a secure access to all the developers for the Git repository, importing the certificate and stuff like that. All of this we will be discussing throughout this course. Okay, so this is all the content part. Again, the course is divided is about 20 hours, but I am sure we will exceed 20 hours. It is not absolutely 20 hours because we have many things to cover in this course. With that note, let's get started with our first session today. In today's session, I will introduce about SAP Web IDE, what SAP Web IDE is, and how does SAP Web IDE helps you to develop the Fiori application or enhance Fiori application. So let's also discuss interview questions. How do you should answer in interview when you are going for some interviews related to Web IDE, and if somebody asks you the difference in using Web IDE based development and Eclipse based development, what is the big difference? That's the first question which comes in everybody's mind when you go for an interview. So what is SAP Web IDE, and what are all the different variants available for SAP Web IDE? Oops, looks like my server got disconnected. Just give me a second. I will connect it again. Web IDE. So let's start with the introduction of what is SAP Web IDE. So SAP Web IDE is a powerful, extensible, web-based integrated development tool. So it's a development tool which allows developers to create, extend, and also make use of different features of this tool. So you can extend your Fiori apps, you can create, you can build, you can deploy your Fiori apps right from the scratch to the end from SAP Web IDE. Very powerful as compared to Eclipse. Okay. Now, what does this tool does? It simplifies the end-to-end development process for a developer. At the same time, what exactly you do with this tool? You say you will do a build, debug, test, extend, and deploy Fiori apps. Not just Fiori apps, there are a lot of other types of deployments which you can do using this particular Web IDE tool. Okay, it's not just the Fiori app which you can develop, it also helps you to develop something called templates. So what it does, it allows build, debug, test, extend, deploy apps using wizard, template, samples, code, and graphical editors. So there is a nice graphical editor through which you can create your views. So you don't need to know XML also. You can quickly use this graphical editor to create your views, and the background code for XML will be created automatically. We will discuss about this graphical editor, very, very powerful tool, a quick and easy way to create your UI. That's what WebIDE does. Now, what are all the variations in which the WebIDE is available? So there are three types of options, three types of offerings what SAP Web IDE does. It is available for local installation, it is available in the cloud, and then it has availability for a different product completely, which is SAP Web IDE for HANA. So there are basically two types of variations as far as the Web IDE is concerned. One is SAP Web IDE for Fiori, okay, and the another one which we have is SAP Web IDE for the HANA. Okay, we have another one for SAP Web IDE for HANA. Okay, SAP Web IDE for HANA we have. It's called SAP Web IDE for HANA. Some of you might not have ever seen it till date. Okay, now these are all the two product offerings what SAP has. One is SAP Web IDE for Fiori apps, and then another one is for HANA. The one which we have it for HANA, it is capable of doing modeling as well. You can do your information modeling on HANA, basically creating different artifacts of HANA like views, calculation view, analytical views. You can do it here. You can also create a access engine native HANA applications using this SAP Web IDE for HANA. This will be out of scope for this course. We will not talk about SAP Web IDE for HANA, but we will more focus on SAP Web IDE for Fiori. Now this one is also available in two different variations. The first variation is SAP Web IDE in HANA Cloud Platform. Okay, it's a tool available in HANA Cloud Platform which we can use using HANA trial account. You can all have a HANA Cloud Platform trial account and you can access SAP Web IDE from there directly. This is option number one. Another thing, there is something called SAP Web IDE Personal Edition, which is available for local development. This is a personal edition which a developer can download, install in their respective computers, and then make use of this for the development. Now, as far as the personal edition is concerned, that is again further on classified into two categories. One is trial and one is productive. Okay, we have one is trial and one is productive. So the trial version is free of cost available. You can download, you can make use of it for your local development. But as far as the productive version is concerned, this is licensed product. It comes with HANA Cloud Platform license. Okay, so these are all the different variations which we have for SAP Web IDE. So again, repeating, the one which we have here, SAP Web IDE for Fiori, is available in HANA Cloud Platform. Another one is Personal Edition, which you can install and deploy and use it in the local computer. And then in this, again, you have trial and productive. These are all the different options you have for SAP Web IDE available. Okay, so in today's session, what we will do is we will set up SAP Web IDE, this trial version, in our local computer and see how we can make use of this for creating a simple Fiori application. Now, as you all know, in the previous course we discussed about consuming OData service using a Fiori app. So we have already this OData server in which we will have an OData service, and we will be using this OData service and creating an application from SAP Web IDE template. Okay, SAP Web IDE template. So SAP Web IDE, what are all the offerings it has? What is that SAP Web IDE offers us? It offers lots of things. Okay, it offers lots of things. Now, you need to also understand the difference between the Web IDE available in the cloud and Web IDE available in the personal edition. What is the difference? This is also a good interview question. What is the difference between the one which is there in the personal edition and what is there in the extra in the Web IDE for cloud platform? So you need to understand that whatever features you have in the cloud platform, most of the features are there in the personal edition also, but there are some extra features which you only get when you are using it in the cloud. Let me tell you quickly those features so that in interview if somebody asks you, you can answer. So very important thing, SAP Web IDE in cloud has more feature as compared to personal edition. Point one. Point two, what are all those features? First feature you will say is deploy, run, extend from cloud. So you can deploy your application right from SAP Web IDE directly into HANA Cloud Platform. Because you are running the Web IDE in the cloud platform, you can deploy it directly on the cloud platform. But here, since you don't have any platform as such, you will use a local server called Orion server. Okay, we use something called Orion server. A local Orion server we will be using. So we don't have an opportunity here to deploy it in the cloud system. But here, since you're using an online version, you are directly running in the cloud platform, you can do all of this. You can deploy, run, extend in the cloud directly. Okay. You can also import projects from the cloud if you are using the cloud version of the SAP Web IDE. Then also the plugin and template development is supported. You can develop your own template in the cloud version, but you cannot do it in the local one. Okay. Then there are different types of views which are available, like run configuration view, where you can configure the settings related to your Fiori app. You have something called problem view. All these views are also not available in the personal edition locally. Okay. Then you have something called notification alert, customizing the performance indices, client build. All these features doesn't come in the personal edition because you're running it locally. You're not running it in the cloud, not on the internet. But personal edition obviously has it more advantages, because if you don't have an internet connection, okay, if you don't have an internet connection, of course you can use personal edition all the time, right? Great. So we will go ahead and also discuss why we are using WebIDE and what is the development process when somebody comes and asks you to develop an Fiori app. What will be your approach? How you should start, how you should develop an application which people would appreciate, which companies wanted. So typically when you want to go in a real-time project, what you supposed to do? So you should have the first prerequisite is a requirement document. You should have a requirement document. You can call it as SRS or you can call it as blueprint also. That's what you will get from the end user or the business. After you get this document, you need to look at the services. You need to look at the OData service. Now you need to decide if the OData service is ready. If it is not ready, what will you do? You will try to create the OData project. Of course, you may not be able to have a data right now, but you will just create the product with the project with entity set. You should create OData project with entity sets. All the entity sets you need to define. With this, what will happen is you are ultimately going to derive something called dollar metadata. Once you have this dollar metadata, that's it. You just need this to get started with your custom application from scratch. This is what is mandatory for you to have if you really want to get started with a custom application. You actually don't need data, but you need metadata of your OData service so that you can start your application from the scratch using a WebIDE template. Step number 3, as a UI developer, you should always start develop application using templates every time. Remember guys, this is very important step which we didn't cover in the last course. You should always develop an application from template. Why? You may ask me why. Why is it like that? Because it includes all the standard features. So can anybody name me some of the features which are very important as far as any Fiori project is concerned? Anyone? What are all the important features, standard features which we saw, which every app must have? Without that, your app cannot approve. Anybody? Some of the features which we learned in the previous course. Perfect answer. Very good. Component JS. Without component JS, you cannot deploy your app in the launchpad. You cannot configure the tile for that, right? Then I18N, translation purpose. If you don't have I18N, obviously you will not be able to provide language support. Manifest JSON, wow, very good. You all remember manifest JSON also important because it includes all the routing configuration. You should have route match handler for all the navigation purpose. Neo app JSON, no, that's a new concept what we are going to learn here. In this course, we will discuss about Neo app JSON. Neo app JSON we did not discuss in the last course and it was not relevant. In this course, we will discuss what Neo app JSON does. Okay, that's what we will discuss. Apart from that, you also have a couple of more important things like you should always modularize. And how do you modularize your UI? Anybody? What is that you use to modularize your UI? Anyone? Which concept we learned in the last course which used for modularization? Obviously MVC, but there is a concept which we have used in the last course for modularization of UI. That is called fragments. If you remember, fragment concept, we're going to have the pieces of UI which are lightweight pieces without any control logic, fragments. So that's what you should do. Then some more things like error handling you should do. You should have formatters in a separate custom controllers. All these things we have learned in the last course. And according to the standard, that standard, the app template will help you. So app will be created with the help of template. It follows all the standard automatically. So this should be your starting point when you want to create an app. Now you should also decide at the same time which template to use. Okay, there are different types of templates available in SAP Web IDE, like master detail. You have work list template. You have a list navigation. Okay, there are different types of templates available. We will also discuss something called hybrid application development using WebIDE, guys. What is a hybrid application? Which also uses something called mobile-like functionality. Hybrid application toolkit. There is something called hybrid application toolkit available in WebIDE through which you can create hybrid applications. We will discuss about that also in detail. So for basic simple custom app, 80% of the time you should choose one of the template from here. Never try to get start with your application development from scratch the way we did in the previous course. You should always use a template because it follows all the standard. Okay, all the standards if you want to follow, then you should always use this one. Okay, so what are all these things? These are all the important aspects which you should use. And once you decided on your template, what you should do, you should create your application using template. So what we will be doing here is we will be creating our application using template. All right. Okay, let me just move this here. Yeah. So what we need to do is then after that we've decided on our template, create application using template. New app using template. Now this also includes several steps. We should keep in mind those steps. Very, very important. You should select a namespace. You remember we have created a namespace in our previous course also where we have decided what is the name through which your path will get recognized. Every view, every controller, every fragment, every formatter, whatever entities, whatever artifacts you're creating, for everything you should have a namespace. It should start with that namespace. Okay. You should select your OData service. Before that, selecting OData service, you should also be able to select something called destination. So what will happen? When you want to develop an application, you need to connect to OData service. It's basically essentially a gateway server where your OData service is running. So that's what called destination. A destination is nothing but it's a gateway server connection through which you connect to OData service. I will also show you how to set up destination for local installation today. That also I will show you. Okay. After this is done, you should select your template. So first, of course, you should select your template, select the namespace, select the project name, and then you should also select your OData service, your destination, and OData service name. And after that, your application will be created automatically. And once that is created, you can start editing your application as per your Fiori knowledge. And in this, SAP recommend all the views as XML views. So this course completely will focus all on XML views, how to adapt. We'll take a business scenario and we will see how to create a proper end-to-end project using SAP Web IDE in the local. We will also talk about how to create it in the HANA Cloud Platform also. We'll see both this Web IDE. WebIDE in HCP and WebIDE Personal Edition. Both we will see going forward. Both has their own advantages. In today's session now, we will go ahead and install this WebIDE in local environment. What are all the prerequisites? What are all the settings which we need to do? And how do we set it up? This is all we are going to see. Before that, let's quickly understand under the hood, what is that which is going on? What is that WebIDE is doing? So WebIDE sits in the center here, where you have all your application being developed. Now, on the left side of the WebIDE, if I say I have something called SDK, it's called SDK, plugins. If you want to connect a special functionality which WebIDE natively doesn't offer you, you should use something called SDK. And this SDK can be connected with hybrid, as I mentioned you, hybrid app toolkit. It can connect to hybrid application toolkit for hybrid application development. We'll see some scenarios for that as well. Then you have overview page. You can talk to overview page. If you have heard about this new concept which is very famous these days in market, it's called IoT, Internet of Things. You can create an IoT app also using SAP Web IDE through this SDK. So you need to use proper SDK, whichever SDK you want to use, you can use and create accordingly the right application. Then SAP Web IDE needs to talk to different servers for OData, right? For that you have connections, you have data sources. You can use different data sources to connect to SAP Web IDE. Now, SAP Web IDE these days also started offering the data connectivity with directly HANA Access OData service. So HANA Access OData service also can be connected. So our main intention will be focusing on gateway services. Gateway OData services, usually the path will be /SAP/OPU/OData. This is how the path of an OData service of gateway looks like. So this is gateway service you can connect. You can also connect to HANA Access OData service. Okay, HANA also comes with a small engine, a small application engine called Access Engine. You can create OData services there also and you can connect. I'll show you one scenario for that as well. Then you can also connect to other type of REST-based services. Let's say a REST-based service which is offered by odataservices.odata.org. You can make use of that as well. So these are all the different options you have available to connect to different variety of services. Then moving next, what are all the deployment options? After you develop your app, you can actually deploy this application at different layers, different places you can deploy. So after you develop, you can connect and you can deploy your app at multiple places. So one is you can directly deploy it in the web stack in your gateway server, front-end gateway server. You can deploy in HANA Cloud Platform. You can deploy also in SMP, SAP mobile platform. You can deploy your app. You can also deploy directly on HANA Access Engine. So these are all the places where you can deploy your application. At the same time, SAP Web IDE can use something called Git repository to connect for team collaboration purpose. So you can have Git repository. It's a repository, it's a server where you keep all your code. So suppose somebody in the team fell sick, they are not able to join the office. What will happen the code what they wrote? It has to be stored somewhere centrally. When there is a team of 6 people or 8 people working together, if I'm making a change, how will it be available to others? If they are making a change, how will it be available to me? We cannot use email communication for every change which we do. We have to have proper lifecycle management for the development. So that is controlled using Git repository. We'll see how to set up a Git repository and connect your project, share your project, and also work with Git using WebIDE. This is what is very important. Every company is using Git repository, their local Git repository, for sharing the project with the team members. And then finally you have all the devices which are going to access your app, whether the desktop device or you have the tablets, yeah, and then you have mobile devices which probably access your app from the browser. So that's all you have on the front end side. So hope you understood what is the architecture overall for SAP Web IDE, what are all the offerings, deployment options, what are all the different SDK means, what are all the different data sources it can consume, how does it also implement the collaboration with the team members, how will it implement that? Yeah. Any questions in this before we move on for setting up our first local environment for SAP Web IDE? Any questions? No questions? Okay, great. So let's start and we will set up our local SAP Web IDE first. And this local SAP Web IDE we will be using for creating a simple project using template. Okay, so we'll be using this personal edition. We will setting up this personal edition and then we will use this trial version, of course, that's for training purpose. And then we will go ahead and create our first Fiori app using SAP Web IDE in the local environment. Okay, now a couple of questions here. How is it different from compared to HCP course? In HCP course, we have discussed more about Java, where we have discussed how to create application using Java, creating OData service also. Okay, we more discuss about WebIDE in HCP. This one we did not discuss about cloud. We did not discuss about Launchpad. We did not discuss about enhancement of standard Fiori apps which are available out of the box. We did not talk about it. We did not talk about theme designer, how to design custom branding for your applications, how to deploy them, how to activate, deactivate standard Fiori apps, role concept, right? Did not discover about KPI tile. So many things we did not talk about there. That was mainly there we used HANA Cloud Portal for using the Launchpad. But here this is very practical scenario. Companies have not gone for cloud till date. They have not gone for HCP yet. They are still using gateway as their backend. as their front-end server, and ECC as their back-end server. And they want to use the application right from ABAP server only, ABAP stack only. So how do you give an access from the ABAP stack? So that is what the major difference is. We'll talk about theme designer, we'll talk about launchpad, configurations, enhancement of a standard Fiori app. That was one topic which was asked by many of you since long time. Anubhav, we are finding it so difficult to enhance standard Fiori apps. So this is all we are going to cover here. Nothing related to Java Bean or Servlet. We will not talk about it here. That course we talked about Java Bean, Servlet, JPA, using an open source database, JNDI lookup, a lot of new things, Olingo framework. Those things are not relevant here because that was more about cloud-based development, end-to-end cloud development. Here is more about your practical day-to-day work, what you're doing in a company. Now, any feature different from productive to trial version in IDE? Okay, I'm really not sure because I have not used the productive version yet. I'm only using trial version because I've not set it up in any company till date. Typically, wherever I go for training purpose, they do give me this environment already set it up. Okay, so I really cannot comment on the difference between productive and trial version. But yes, I assume it is more or less the same. Okay, but the productive version is more licensed and it has more features like server-side repository and these stuff like that. It will come, but still you all can use this trial version, and I think everything you can do with this trial version as well. Okay, yes, we will see how to deploy the standard Fiori apps. I will show you that. I will also show you installation, guys, how to set up your server. I will show you installation also. What are all the front end and back end components you need per application, and how do you install add-ons? How do you set up your own gateway server? All that I will be discussing in this course. Installation will also be discussed, more like basis work, which you most of you were also doing in your company rather than development. We were doing it. I will discuss that also in this course. Okay, I will discuss that. Okay, great. So let's get started. We are going to now set up a local web IDE. What are all the things you need as a prerequisite? What are all the things you need as a prerequisite for that? So first, very important thing which you all need to do is go to tools.hana.ondemand.com and you need to download two very important things. Now, some of you may have used the local installation of WebIDE in the past. That has become obsolete, and now SAP has introduced SAP WebIDE Personal Edition. That is the one which we all should use for local development using WebIDE. So go to tools.hana.ondemand.com. This is the single place where you can download all the tools what you need for development. And you can see here SAP UI5, the last tab. Just go there and you can see here SAP HANA Cloud Platform Web IDE Personal Edition updated on 15/12/2016. Yeah, this is the one which we should use. You can see here there are two versions. One is on HANA Cloud Platform Web IDE and another one is the Personal Edition, Web IDE Personal Edition, right? So download this file as per the operating system which you have. So how do you check which operating system you are using? Just go to your computer, start, select computer, right click, go to properties, and here in the properties you can see system type. It's a 64-bit operating system I'm using currently, so that is what I will be using. So I will be downloading the 64-bit version here. So it is a big file. You can see 564 MB of download. So I have already downloaded to save the time. Okay, there is another thing called for creating extension project, basically enhancement of standard Fiori app. You should use something called SAP UI5 toolkit, but that is again for Eclipse based development. Since we are not using Eclipse here, we don't need to download this Eclipse toolkit. Okay, I will also show you a scenario where some of the companies, they are already using Eclipse, how to extend SAP Fiori apps using Eclipse as well. That is also I will cover in this course. Okay, I will use that as well. But our major focus will be doing everything from WebIDE only. Okay, starting from scratch, which is installation. So download this file. I have already downloaded. There is one more important thing which you need to download called SAP JVM. Okay, basically, even though if you have JRE in your computer, JDK and JRE, you need to download, as we have done in the previous course also. As a prerequisite setup, you need to basically have the Java available in your computer. So you can use JDK, but I would recommend you to download SAP JVM. This is more like SAP specific implementation of Java virtual machine, which supports a lot of features like cloud connector. So when you're using cloud connector, it's also important that you use SAP JVM. So then it will work seamlessly. So that is why I recommend to download SAP JVM. You can see it here for Windows 64-bit. This is the latest version, which I have also downloaded in my computer. Okay. After you download the JVM, SAP JVM and SAP UI5 Web IDE Personal Edition from here, just go to your download folder. So let me quickly go to my computer download folder where I have downloaded both the files. So I come here, you can see I have downloaded here SAP JVM 8.1, this file, and then I right click and extracted this in my C drive. Okay, in my C drive when I go, I've extracted in SAP JVM folder. See here, I've extracted this in the C drive SAP JVM folder. Now this should be your path for any Java related activity. This should be your path for Java related activity. This should be considered as your Java folder, guys, in your computer, because then only your cloud connector will also work with it properly. Remember, all the tools and services which we are downloading, they all need Java, and with SAP JVM they all are optimized. So you should always recommend it that you should use JVM of SAP. After you download this, you need to do couple of system settings in your computer so that whenever there is a need of Java related libraries, the tools which you are downloading like WebIDE, Cloud Connector, they all will go to this folder only rather than default Java folder of your computer. So the default Java folder of your computer is in the program files, Java folder. Here you can see the JDK. This is the default Java folder for your computer, but we will change this default folder to keep this folder, don't delete, but we will change it for our purpose to SAP JVM. So now we'll go to C drive. Here I have extracted in SAP JVM folder all the Java related files. So SAP JVM folder. Now what you need to do to tell your computer that use this Java rather than the Java which is there in the C drive program files, you need to set up the environment variables. What are all the environment variables you need to set up? Let's go. And where do you find them? So in Windows computer, go to Start, right click on your computer, go to Properties, and go to Advanced Settings. Here, Advanced Settings, and here you will see in Advanced tab option called Environment Variables. Here you should set up these environment variables which are very important. So let me tell you all the environment variable names together one by one and their respective values. So the first variable which you should change is class path. So the value of the class path variable should be equals to percentage Java underscore home percentage backslash JRE slash bin. This should JRE slash lib. All the libraries related to the classes which these tools should use should be coming from here. So this is the class path you should set, first variable. Second, your path variable has to be set. In this path variable, let me put the values for the path variable also. Your directory, you see here I put the directory SAP JVM bin directory. This is the second setting, because all the tools which you're downloading, they all need Java. They all need Java jar files, reusable libraries. So these libraries can be found in this folder. That's why we're given the second thing. Put this as a path. If you already have a path variable in your computer, don't change completely. Just put semicolon and append remaining things after that, whatever I'm mentioning. Okay, append remaining things. Don't remove the current class path. It may disturb some of your applications which are running already in your computer. Just append this, put a semicolon and append these things after that. After the path variable, you should set the next variable called Java home. Very important. Java home to this new SAP JVM directory. See, I've set it up C drive, SAP JVM bin directory. That should be your Java home folder. Okay, these are all the three variables which you must set properly to SAP JVM, SAP Java version basically, to make these tools including Cloud Connector work, because we are also going to connect our application later point of time through SAP Web IDE in the HANA Cloud platform. For that, you will need Cloud Connector. I will explain you what is Cloud Connector. Don't panic right now, but just follow these settings. And also you just set the home variable also to SAP JVM bin directory. These are all the 4 variables you should set, and after that we are good to go. How do you check whether these things are properly set or not? How do you check whether these things are properly set or not? Very simple to check. After doing these settings, just go to your start, open the command prompt. If it is not there in start option, type CMD. Okay, type CMD, and here you just type Java hyphen version. Press enter. Java hyphen version. You can see it's showing Java version 1.8.0 underscore 92. That's a Java version it has taken. So the class path is properly set. If this is coming, some version it is showing, it should be more than 1.7, guys. That's again important thing to notice. Okay. Once this is done, your system is now ready for installation, local installation of SAP Web IDE. Okay. Now, step 1 over. So what did we do? We first downloaded SAP JVM. What did we do? Let me note down all the steps here. So first thing, we go to http tools.hana.ondemand.com, and we downloaded SAP JVM from Cloud tab and extracted it to our C drive SAP JVM folder. Once this step is done, we set it up the class, the variables, environment variables, Say I'm teaching everything from scratch, guys. Some of you may already know these things. It may be a little boring, but it's my duty to teach you everything from scratch, everything step by step, so you don't mess up the setup. You will find it very difficult to do the setup if you follow some books. But if you follow these instructions, which I already tried out, and it works well if you follow the sequence properly. Once this is done, we've also checked using command Java hyphen space hyphen version. With this, we confirm that it's working. Great. Step number 2, extract the SAP Web IDE personal edition in another folder in C drive. We are doing it in C drive. It's your choice. You can do it any folder, whatever you like. Okay, your drive directory will change accordingly. Now, what did we do? We just go and we again downloaded this SAP Wi-Fi section. We come down here and we find the link for SAP Web IDE Personal Edition, and we downloaded it accordingly. After download, there is a very important step. If you do a mistake here, it is not going to work. Do not extract this right here. If you choose this extract here option, you will get into problems. Don't do this. Don't say extract here. So I've downloaded SAP Web IDE Personal Edition. You can see here I downloaded. Copy this file, go to the C drive where you want to install SAP Web IDE. I want to install it in SAP Web IDE folder. So I created a new folder called SAP Web IDE. Go inside and paste it here again. Okay. Go inside and paste it here, and then right click and then do extract here. Remember guys, this is a very important step. Do not try to extract it directly in your downloads folder. Create a new directory in your drive wherever you want, then copy and paste all the entire zip file over here, right click and choose extract here. That is when it will work. Okay, otherwise you will get into problem. Now let me also tell you the problem. What happens is the path becomes so big that this WinRAR software is not able to recognize that path, and then some of the files will not be extracted properly, and because of that it will throw you some plugin errors when you start your Web IDE. But here you see it is extracting properly without any messages, without any warnings, which means it is doing proper. Okay, so that is my step number 2. Extract SAP Web IDE Personal Edition in another folder in, let's say, C drive, SAP Web IDE. That's where I am copying it. So before extraction, copy the zip and extract here option you should choose. And you see it is getting extracted. Now, as I mentioned, guys, it uses something called a server. See, without server, nothing will work. So this, you can see it creating an Eclipse folder. In this, you see this Orion server is being created. So system is creating an Orion server. We don't need to worry about what is this server, what it does, what it doesn't do. We should not worry about it. We just extract and we should use this to start our local web IDE. That is what we will be doing. So let it extract. Now what after extraction it will ask me, I will just start this Orion server and that's it. My web IDE will be started locally. That's it. That is all in the setup, guys. After the setup, I will just click in this Orion exe and then it will be started. Now question number 2, how do you upgrade? Let's say today you have installed this version. Tomorrow there are new features which SAP is introducing in their web IDE. How do you upgrade? What will happen to upgrade? Will it automatically bring all the updates or do you need to again extract? And if you again need to extract, what will happen to your existing configurations? So what you need to do is, in order to upgrade, before upgradation, what you need to do, if you want latest version is available on that website now. So how do you upgrade? So before upgrade, save, take a backup of following files. You need to take a backup of following files. What are all those files? One is orion.ini. Second is orion.conf. So this contains a basic username and password what you will create an account for in the configuration. Then destinations folder. So basically you want to connect now this application, WebIDE application from a gateway system. I will show you right away in some time, connecting to an OData service from my gateway system. This WebIDE will get connected to that. Okay. Then server workspace, where all your files are stored, where all your projects are stored, okay, in the server workspace. So these two folders and these two files you got to take a backup, guys, before upgradation. Save them in a different folder, download the latest version, extract it again, overwrite everything, and then copy these files again from the backup and paste them and overwrite. That is the process for upgrade at this point of time to new version for local web IDE. It's clear? All these 3 steps to all of you. Very simple if you follow them in step by step. So it's a very big file. It's taking so much of time to extract this. That's why I downloaded them before the session start, because otherwise it would have taken more time for our session. So now one more important thing, by default when you start this Orion server, it will take the port number as 8080. Now some of you may already doing development using Tomcat in your company, and Tomcat default port is also 8080. So whether either you stop your Tomcat before starting this local web IDE, or probably choose a different port number for this web IDE, local web IDE. How can you choose that port number? You can actually use this orion.ini, and here you can configure the port number for, let me just see if I can find the port number. I'll just do a quick search, Control F, 8080. Okay, just do it on upside. Yes, you can see here the port number is 8080. What is there in INI file? You can change this port number and then it will probably take a different port number. So both your Tomcat and your local web IDE will have a different port numbers. You can make use of both of them together. Okay, if you are very new to this, don't worry, just use it as it is. Don't worry about port number, forget anything. Just do these 3 steps and your setup is ready. Fine, your setup is ready. So it is extracting. Okay, great, let it extract. In the meantime, what I will also do now is I will explain you what is that which we are going to do. Okay, I will explain you what is that which we are now going to achieve after this setup is done. So I will be creating a Fiori application from template. Okay, after this is done, I will be creating a Fiori application from standard web IDE template. As I mentioned you, whenever you want to go for development, you should always start with standard template, because that's what it does. It follows all the standard automatically. So what next I'm going to do, as I mentioned, after you are done with that, find out your OData service. Okay. Now, as far as the local web ID is concerned, what is the architecture? So you typically have your NetWeaver gateway system where your services are available, right? Your OData services are available here in this. So here are your OData services. Now these services will expose your ERP data. Then that ERP can be a different system, your ECC system. This is your gateway system. We also call it as front-end system. And then you have your ECC system, core component, and this is your backend or backend system. That is a typical hub-based scenario. We will talk about this hub-based scenario, this consolidated systems in later. But right now, understand this is what we also discussed in the previous course: a gateway system and an ECC system. Here are all your services. Now, your SAP Web IDE would like to talk to this OData service, right? Here you will create your application. Here you will create your Fiori app. So this Fiori app needs to connect to this service. How will it connect? How will it know the system? So to use this system which is available, there is a concept called destination. There is a concept called destination. Web IDE will read something called destination, and this destination we will have some properties. So every destination have some couple of properties which we use to configure the connection to this gateway system. So Web IDE needs to talk to your gateway system in order to access the OData services available, and that is done using configuration for a destination. And where is this destination file will be available? You go to the Web IDE folder in the configuration, Web IDE folder. Okay, it didn't yet extracted everything. Let it extract everything first, and then I will show you which folder we will add our destination. So when you're creating a connection to your gateway system, you must have to create a destination file in your Web IDE folder, and that destination file should have certain properties which I'll quickly explain you here. So in order to connect from your local Web IDE to your gateway system accessing the OData service, you must have to create a destination so that SAP Web IDE can talk to this NetWeaver gateway. Okay, can talk to this NetWeaver gateway. Now, what are all the properties for creating a single destination file? You have to basically create a file and keep it in the destination folder. So the properties are description of your server, any description you can type, any value you can give. Then you should keep the type of connection, whether it is HTTP or HTTPS, secure, hypertext transmission protocol. Trust all property equals to true. Then you should have Web IDE system, your backend system ID, NetWeaver Gateway backend system ID. So let's find out the ID for our backend system. So I will quickly go to SAP logon here. And what is the ID of my server? I will quickly check. So let's double click on SAP logon and find out the ID of my server. So I have a gateway system here. You can see it's EP7. System ID is EP7. That should be your system ID. Okay, that should be a system ID. So let's put here the Web IDE system ID is EP7. I will also save the file which I will create with the same name, EP7 only. Okay, same name I will create. Then you should also have couple of more properties like name of the destination you are creating. So this name I will name it as EP7 only. Name also I'll keep it the same. Then we should have the proxy type. How the Web IDE is going to communicate to this this gateway server? It's through internet. Okay. Then we will have also the URL, very important property. It's URL. Okay. In the URL, we will mention the URL of our server. How do you find this URL? Very simple. Connect to your gateway system and pick your OData service and run it once in the gateway client. You will get your URL. So let me go to this gateway system here. I will connect to this gateway system. So in your company, you will also have your gateway system where all your data is residing, or your data services are being created by your team members, right? So I'll just connect to this server, and I'll go to transaction for gateway client. We have already learned about this in our previous course. What is a gateway client, how to create an OData service. So you can see here OData service. You can also browse through all the services which you have in main service transaction. It's your choice where you want to get started with. So let me see if there is a service available here. Let me just go to my transaction SEGW to show you some OData project which I recently created. You see here I created something called ZDemo OData. This is one OData project I created in my previous batch. And here I go to service maintenance, local, and I say gateway client just to execute this particular server. And I say execute. Oops, looks like there's some ICF. Check ICF node for TXICF. At least one node is inactive. So there is some ICF node configuration which is inactive in this gateway. Because of that, it's not working. So let me re-register the service. Service is already registered. Looks like there's a problem. I go to SICF transaction and check if all the nodes are active or not related to my OData services. So I execute this. Default host, SAP, OPU, OData, SAP, and here I should see my services. Yes, they are there. Let me just check. I do a test service. Could not host port information. There is some problem which has happened. What is the problem? Let me quickly check. It's registered here, but I'm unable to access it then. So after, let's continue with our WebIDE part. We will go back to here, and you can see it has extracted the complete folder. Now in here you can see this orient.exe file, and you also see this configuration, the folder called features. Oops, looks like there's some folder which is missing. If I go inside configuration, I don't see the destination folder here. Okay, I think I should first start the orient.exe. So let's start the server. Right click here on the server and say run as administrator. Say yes. And you can see it is now starting this orient.exe file. That's it. Once this gets started, your local web IDE is ready to be used. And you can see now if I come back to my browser and just type in localhost 8080 is the port number which we have chosen /webide/index.html. That's all you need to type. Press enter. You can see it's giving a response. You can see the Orient has got this response. Now initially, since it's a new system, it's a new setup, I need to create a quick account here. Create a new account. I just give my name and I give some password, and I also choose retype the password and just provide my email ID. So that's a simple account. It has nothing to do with account on internet. It's a pure local account. You can choose any name and any password. Just say sign up. It's done, and you see it's trying to start my local web IDE. Voila. Great. So you can see it has started the web IDE locally, and I have successfully set it up local web IDE in my computer. This is the starting point for you in your company to get started with the development Fiori app using web IDE. Okay, now it's time to connect our OData server with one of the service. So we come here to the section called slash, which is our workspace for creating all the projects. And when you do this, what you will see here is the config master folder got created. So after you log in for the first time, there's this folder got created, config master. In this, if you come, you have services.destination folder and a destination folder, and which is empty. So here is where you should create an empty, here is where you should create a file with all the configuration related to your gateway server. Okay, the file should not have any extension, and it should have all the properties which I was just mentioning: the URL, the Web IDE system, trust all name, proxy type. Let me also tell you the other important settings which we all should enter in this. So URL, we will find it once the gateway issue is fixed. They are working on it, and I will just enter here Web IDE system, and then finally you should also mention Web IDE enabled equals to true. And then you should also use a very important property called WebIDE UJS. You can also mention SAP-client. In this case, it's 800 for my server. S should be small. And then there's something called WebIDE usage. What is the purpose? What is the need this Web IDE needs to connect to your gateway server? What are all the purpose? So there are different property values for this. Let me tell you a couple of values which are very important for this property Web IDE uses. So first is OData underscore ABAP. If you are using SAP Web IDE for the purpose of OData functionality of gateway, okay? If you want to use OData functionality of gateway, connect to the Web IDE, in that case you should specify this property for OData of gateway. That is the value you should pass in Web IDE uses. If you want to use the Web IDE for purpose of generic OData functionality, like we have connected in our last course from services.odata.org, that is general OData available on internet. For that purpose, you say OData underscore gen for general OData, not gateway OData. Okay. The above property is for gateway OData. This is for general OData service available on internet. Then if you are using is for executing UI5 applications from SAP ABAP repository, then the property value should be UI5 underscore execute underscore ABAP. If this is the value, you are actually using it for executing UI5 apps using ABAP repository. Okay, I'll show you these property values. How does they impact? Okay, then there's another one, dev underscore ABAP. If you are using for extensibility scenario, what is extensibility scenario? You want to use SAP Web IDE for the purpose of extending a standard Fiori app available in your gateway server. For that purpose, you should use this property. Like you want to extend a standard Fiori app using SAP Web IDE, this property should be set. Then if you want to just execute or work with fact sheet apps, you should set BSP underscore execute underscore ABAP. If this property is set, that is for fact sheet scenarios. Then finally, OData underscore access. If you have your HANA with an access engine running into it with a lightweight application server, you want to connect to access OData service, this is the property you should choose. Now you may say, Anubhav, I want to use Web IDE for the purpose of my gateway OData service, and I also want to use extensibility scenario where I want to extend standard Fiori app. How will I give two property values together? You can give multiple property values here in Web IDE UJS by separating from comma. Okay, by separating from comma. Now you must be wondering, how did I find all these details? It's pretty simple. There is a good documentation available on SAP website for the same. So let me quickly go back, development tools, and here you can see the documentation related to that. Click on this button, this link, and you can see the Web IDE personal edition documentation. So in this, if you come, you will see an option for connecting to your gateway server. How can you connect to your gateway server? So let's see, importing Git, remote system. Yes, connecting remote system from SAP Web IDE personal edition. So you can see these are all the properties which I was just mentioning for you to enter to create a destination file. And you can see Web IDE uses the property values. So pretty nice documentation. Yeah. Now we will use these properties and create a destination first. Okay, but before that we need to quickly check if our gateway server URL is working or not. So let me quickly check that. A free server is also available on internet for you to connect with. It's called ES4 SAP Gateway. ES4 SAP Gateway is a free gateway server available on internet. You can use this server for creating Fiori apps as well. The free OData services are also available from this. Just go to here, this blog here. It will help you to create a fresh user. It's a self-service. You can create a quick user here with this server here. This is the URL for the server, SAP ES4 sapdevcenter.com. It's a server, and I've already created a user here using sign up form. Okay, so you can use this also. It's a free server. This also offers you an OData service. Let me quickly show you that OData service, what it offers. So if I come here, you can see there's a sample service which this server offers me. I just click here, sample gateway service. So you all can create a free user on internet for this ES4 server, which is a free gateway server available for all the trial purpose. So we will create a destination for this and try to create an application for that. So there's a free OData service also available with this. If you scroll down, you can see here is the free service. Click on service document, and you can see it's asking me the password for the server to access this free OData service. You see, this is the URL for free OData service. Okay, I do have a user. Let me quickly check what's the username I have created. I have stored it in my file, and I'll just use that username. Okay, great. And yeah, so I entered the username which I have created, and I enter my password to access this free OData service, and you can see it's a service document which is now visible. So this is also a gateway server. Now I would like to connect from my local web ID to this gateway server. How do I do that? I need to create a destination. So let me use create a destination file and keep it in my local web ID so that I can connect to this particular gateway server available here. Okay, so let me do that, and maybe in the next session when my issue related to the gateway is solved, I will show you connecting to my local gateway as well. So right now we'll use this one as a backup for us to connect and create a simple Fiori application using WebIDE template right away. Yeah, so let me copy this and go back and create a notepad file quickly. And here in the notepad file, I'm going to create the destination data. So all these properties we need, we will copy these properties from the documentation, paste them here, and use the description first. So say my gateway system. It's a description I'm entering, and now I choose type as HTTP. Trust all is true. It's not HTTP, guys. It's HTTPS. You can see here. It's HTTPS. It's HTTPS system. You can see on the top. It's HTTPS. So choose HTTPS. Authentication, no authentication, because let user enter the password every time when they want to connect to the service. What is the name of the server? It is ES4. So I always prefer caps, ES4. Proxy type is internet, and then the URL for this is this one. So I copy the URL, and let me enter the URL over here, https saps4devcenter.com, and we'll enter the UJs. So as I mentioned, the UJs, different uses are already mentioned here. So we want to use this for the purpose of OData ABAP. I want to consume an OData service. That's the only purpose. And also dev ABAP for an extensibility scenario. So I will come here, back again, OData ABAP, and dev underscore OData. These are all the properties. I am dev underscore ABAP. And then we will again enter the server name, ES4. WebIDE enabled is true, and the client, let me check the client value. What's the client value? It's an ABAP system. Let me just go back to the block and check what's the client value they have. So I come back and just go back again to the server URL to just check the client value. Since it's a SAP system, I probably need the client also. So let's come here. It's 800. You can see guys in the screenshot also the client is 800 what they have. Okay, so let's use client 800, and now I will save this file on my folder, same folder which I showed you where you create destination. So save this, C drive, my Web IDE, Eclipse, config master, destinations, and here we will save this as ES4. Okay, let me not save this. First I'll show you what will happen when it comes to Eclipse. So I come to local Web IDE, and now I want to create an app. Okay, so I say right click, new project from template. Okay, and now I can see nice templates. Wow, great. You can see all the standard templates are available. So SAP UI5 application I want to create, which is using SAP UI Commons library, desktop optimized, a worklist application. On the right you can see the samples. You can choose master detail. On the left you have a master, on the right you have a detail. You can have a list report application like this, where you have search fields on the top. At the bottom there's a table. You click on an item, it displays you the details, and icon tab filter. So I want a master detail one, so I choose this one. There's a nice feature here also called versions. So this is very important guys. Sometimes your company has a gateway server which doesn't have the latest version of UI5, which is 1.3x. It probably have the old version of SAP UI5. How do you check the version? I will explain you that in later chapters. But when you use it, the latest version for creating the app, it may not comply with your gateway. It may not work with your gateway. So you probably need to select the right version here for SAP UI5. This I will explain it in detail in coming chapters. How to check this. These two we never use. Only out of these two we should choose. How to choose I will explain you later. But right now let's click the latest one. I say next. And now I enter the project name. I say wow app. Let me just name it as wow app. Say next. And now here you can see service catalog. And in the drop down, I don't see any system at this point. Okay. I don't see any system, right? We don't see any system because we have not yet added our system over there. So we got to add it now. So let me just go back. This is the file I'm saving at ES4 name. Save this. Let's close this. Come back. You can see ES4 got created. Remember, it should not have any extension. So we have to also remove this .txt from here. Very important. When you're creating a destination, remove this .txt also. Okay. So it should be directly without any extension. It should not be JSON also. It should be just a file without an extension. You can see I just changed it. Come back to Web IDE. Just go one step back, one step forward. You still don't see the system. So we'll close this wizard and we'll try again. So right click, workspace, new project from template. Choose master detail. Next. Project name wow app. Data connection. Still you don't see, so we probably need to restart our Web IDE. So let me just close this. We also close this Orion server. It's running here in command prompt. I close this. Come back. Go to Eclipse. Restart the Orion server. Double click here. Oops. I got to close. Looks like my browser as well. Run again. It is started. Let's start the Web IDE again. Localhost 8080 Web IDE index HTML. This time I've already registered because the information I given last time. Just click on this button here. It takes my password and username and it says sign in. It's reloading SAP Web IDE. And I hope that this time our destination will be visible. So let's right click on workspace, new project from template, master detail, next, wow app, select the service catalog, and wow, you can see my gateway system is now available, right? This is what we wanted. My gateway system. You can see, guys, we have configured one destination. There's one question here from Deepak. So Deepak is asking, can we have multiple systems? Yes, we can have multiple systems, Deepak. It's possible. You can come here to your config master, destinations folder, and add as many systems files as you want. So let's say you have 5 gateway systems. You can add all 5 files with different names here, and all those will be available in the drop down in WebIDE. It's possible. It's possible. So select this, choose my gateway system. It should connect, and see, it's prompting me for username and password. Wow. It's trying to connect and get the details of all the services available in my gateway system. It's trying to get me the list of all the services available in my gateway system, guys. All the services available in my gateway system. It's trying to get. Okay. So it's asking me the username, password. Let me enter username and password. Press enter. And voila, see, it has got all the services available in the gateway system. All the services. Now you must be wondering, how does that magic happens? That magic happens because of this guy. See here, catalog service. There is a catalog service available in all the gateway systems which holds the details of all the services. So if you want to check this, what you can also do is come to another session and just put your local host colon 8080, okay, and use this destination what you created. See, destination is my ES4, is my destination slash my OData service path. Okay, what is the path of my OData service? So if I come back here to ES4, the path of OData service I want, so I go back and I can just go to the sample service. Here is the sample service, gateway service, service document. So what you can also do, guys, you can directly test from local host to that service connection. So put slash destination name slash the path. This is the path. I am putting this path to call the service from local host. See, put the same path, press enter. It will prompt you. You can see the responses have come. So from your local host, it uses a WebIDE dispatcher to talk to destination, and it gets you the service data. So there is this service available which I was just talking about, catalog service, which gives you the list of all the other services available. So this is responsible for giving me this list. Now I will find my service which I was planning to use for the demo. It's gateway sample basic. Let's search here, GW underscore sample. Oops. I just search for sample. Yes, here you can see GW sample service. Right now it's saying not available. Why? I don't know. I select this. It's not able to expand. Maybe I choose another one. It's saying for everything not available. Let me try to use a service which probably is available. It's for everything, it's saying unavailable. Looks like there's some problem with configuration. Though I am able to access the same from here. You can see I'm able to access this gateway basic sample service from my gateway. But what is the problem here? Why it is behaving like this? Okay, select this, expand it. There's some security issue probably. Let me try one more time. I close it, create a new project one more time, master detail, and just select my destination. It has got me everything. Guys, there's some problem. It's unable to talk to my service. You see, it's giving me an error in the Web IDE that it cannot talk to the service. Ideally, it should not happen. Maybe some security constraint they have applied. Because of that, I'm not able to access the service. This is unavailable. There's some problem with my gateway. Let me try with the local gateway now if it is at all working. It's not working here too. Gateway client. No, it's not working. So what will happen after this step, if at all we are able to access, it will create the application from template automatically. So maybe I need to check this. There is some problem why it is not able to connect and get the data for this service from my Web IDE. It's saying service not available. Maybe some constraint which they have applied on the server side. Because of that, I'm not able to get the data. But I am able to access it from the web dispatcher, almost every entity. Let me try with product set. Yeah, you can see I'm able to access from here, but not from here. There's some problem. There's some problem. Service is unavailable. That's what it's saying. There's some problem. Service is unavailable. Okay. So right now I'm not able to access, but at the same time I will also show you probably the second option where if you have the metadata of the service with you, you can still develop your OData service, sorry, your Fiori project. So what you do is, I have a service here. Let me derive the metadata of the service. So I say slash service name dollar metadata. Press enter. It will get me the service metadata, and I save this metadata on my local computer. So let me save this with XML name wow.xml. I saved it on my desktop. I come to Web IDE and create a new folder here. Name it as EMDX, Entity Model Data Access. Right click and import the file which I've downloaded, the metadata file of the service. And I just browse it from my desktop and use wow.xml. Click on OK. You can see it got imported, the entire service document. You can use a nice feature of WebIDE called right click and say beautify. It formats the entire file automatically for you. Such a nice feature in WebIDE, beautify, just like alignment. And now I again choose right click, new project, from template, choose master detail, say next. Project name is wow app, and I say next. And this time I will choose workspace. Okay, I choose workspace, and I will just give the XML path of my OData XML, metadata XML. You can see it's showing me the service name now here on the right hand side. Say next, and now you can choose the next screen where you can specify your master details sections, guys. So we'll give the title for our application. It's, let's say, product data, product app. Namespace I must have to mention, so I will mention demo as the namespace. Description of this app, it's a product details app, and I say collection. Here you can see all the entity sets, so I select product set. Product ID is the collection ID. Enter the title, so I want product name as the title. Price, product price as the numeric attribute, and unit of measurement as currency code. That's my master section. Then I have the details section. For that I will choose all the orders for this particular product, all the sales orders related to sales order item for this product, item position, net amount, and quantity. And measure, let's say, is currency if you do have. No. Quantity unit, let me give, and say finish. That's it. My project will be created automatically. See, wow app project got created, guys. It has all the artifacts which we learned in the first course. The web app folder is the first folder. You see controller, IEDNAN, model, test, view, component.js, manifest, and test HTML. There is this new thing which is created here, you can see, called mock server. I will discuss about mock server in detail. What is a mock server? So if you don't have your real OData service, just the metadata of the service available, you can still create your Fiori app, show a demo to the business, the capability, and once business approves it, your OData is ready. You can In minutes you can connect to real OData service and your app is live. We'll see these kind of end-to-end scenarios of custom apps and also extension of standard Fiori apps. We'll discuss about this folder structure in detail, but right now just run this with the mock data. So right click, since you don't have a real OData service right now available, I just say run with the mock data. So let's see, run as, okay, I don't have an option here. Yes, we have mock server app FLP sandbox mock server. Select this. It will run your Fiori app with mock data, and the data also it has automatically created based on the metadata what you have. Yes, you can see it has loaded the products. See, nice. Congratulations, you have created your first Fiori app. See, a lot of functionality comes automatically. See, price, based on price, it is going to just sort. It's going to filter. It's going to sort based on group. So a lot of features automatically comes. Searching functionality, sorting functionality, grouping functionality, filter functionality, all that comes ready-made. In upcoming chapters, we'll see how to change these labels, how to adapt your application, enhance it using XML view. All that we're going to go and do it with real-time scenarios. Now imagine if your OData is responding, your OData service is working. How do you change this app to connect to real OData service? Pretty simple. Come to WebIDE, go to manifest.json, and here you should be able to find settings related to the OData service. So come to data sources, and you can see, oops, I am not so comfortable with this editor, so I probably switch to code editor, and here you will see data sources, and you see the URI. Here goes your service URL. Your service URL should be always start with destination. Okay, so you should put slash destination slash ES4 is my destination slash my OData URL. So let me take this, come here, slash destinations slash ES4, and my entire service URL goes here. That's it. If it works, if the server is responding, the call goes to the real server. That's all you need to do. Hardly 5 seconds it will take you to connect to real OData service, provided the metadata is same. Okay, provided you created the app with the right metadata. The service metadata should must match with the metadata with which you created the project. Wow XML, if you remember. Okay, this is very important. Save this. Let's try to run this now. See if the server responds, then definitely it'll work. So app in FLP box without mock server. Let's see if it works. Let's hope if the server responds. There's a problem with the OData server guys. It's giving nothing actually. So that is a problem with from the server side, I'm sure. So I need to probably check it why it's not working, and I will get back to you on this. But you saw in a nutshell, all in all, how did we set up local web IDE, and we'll be using this one now from henceforth from here for all our development, including creating extension projects, enhancing standard Fiori apps, deploying it in the web server, then configuring SAP Fiori Launchpad, changing the logon screen, changing the logo, doing the custom branding, theme designer, controlling all the roles, authorizations, installation of gateway component. How will that happen? Installation also I will cover starting this course. So that's what we will be doing right from the next class. We'll go directly into the same flow what I mentioned in the course. So this was just an overview, a demo session to explain you the capability, explain you the features, explain you what is that which is going to be part of this course. Any questions before we close the demo session? Anybody? Yes, I will save all the steps in the notepad and I will send you the details. I will send you everything. I'll put it in the PPT, and as you all know, we'll have a blog access for the same, and all the information will be uploaded in the blog, including the video as well. Okay. So that's it for the day. See you from the next weekend onwards to this session, and have a great day. Goodbye. See you in the next session.